Hey guys, this is going to be a solo playthrough through Baldur's Gate Siege of Dragonspear with the same character I used for my solo playthrough before, which was a fighter illusionist. So I figured I would do this now because I didn't do it at the time. I transferred directly into Baldur's Gate 2, so it's not actually going to get me anything in particular, but it is going to let me play through Siege of Dragonspear, and which happens to be probably the most difficult Baldur's Gate to actually solo through. There's a lot of enemies, just in massive groups. So the majority of this playthrough, what you're going to see me doing is pretty much using wands, the fireball missile necklace. I'm going to use a lot of the arrows of detonation as well, which we never really saw them too much in Baldur's Gate 1, but they are ridiculously strong. The reason I think Siege of Dragonspear is a little harder to solo compared to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 is the fact that, one, like I mentioned, there's a bunch of groups of enemies, like massive groups of enemies, and the second is you're hard locked to 500,000 experience. So you find it hard to, unlike in Baldur's Gate 2, you can't just overpower stuff eventually from being a high level mage. So what you're going to see me do most of this time is probably just wear full plate and either use scrolls or the wands or the necklace that I mentioned. So this first video is going to be going through the prologue, which isn't too difficult, but I'm trying to save as many uses of arrows of detonation as I possibly can. There is an enemy group here, but you can just bypass it if you go talk to this guy, and but you'll still get the experience from if you would have just killed all these guys as well. So it saved you a bit of fighting. You also get the keyring in here in this expansion. It's kind of useless. There is some keys, but you will eventually get a bag of holding quite early on, actually. So you carry over all your gold and all your items from the end of Baldur's Gate 1, but one thing is, after the prologue, they basically wipe your gold. So I do have some gems that I kept from Baldur's Gate 1 that we can use to sell, because you can get a bag of holding for about, I think it's like 5,000 gold if you've got high charisma. Pretty much after the prologue, which is incredibly useful. You can cheese the prologue a bit by kiting stuff back to the Flaming Fist mercenaries. They will help you out, and you can also pretty much buy infinite healing spells from the cleric, because like I mentioned, the gold is wiped after the prologue. So you may as well use the cleric when you can. I think there might be some enemies that can level drain you as well, and these enemies here, the Shadow Souls. Yeah, these guys, they're so annoying because they run away and then they drain life you, and you're gonna see, yeah, he goes back to full life. He did like 14 damage to me, so they're just incredibly annoying. And we're gonna see quite a few of them later on. I hate these guys so much. So I end up just using the Scorcher part of the wand that I have here. So yeah, after every group, if I need healing, I just go back and get the Cure Serious Wound spells from the cleric. I think she'll actually cast Restoration on you if you do get level drained for free. So I don't think you need to worry about it too much. But as you can see, there's just massive groups of enemies. You would have never seen enemies like this in Baldur's Gate 1. They are rather weak, but I mean, these are gas, and they can hold you in place if they hit you. Thankfully, we're pretty much almost immune in terms of our saving throws, but they can still be a pain, obviously.
The braziers in here must be magical.
You have my greetings.
I am going to be skipping quite a few of the side quests because we are going to hit the experience cap pretty early on anyway, and I won't actually need to do too much. But Siege of Dragonspear is rather short to begin with, unless you are doing everything, so It is not probably going to take that long to clear through this, but I figured it was worth doing anyway, because I did skip it before when I was importing into Baldur's Gate 2. As before, I'm mainly going to be using long swords because I do have the proficiency for them right now. I believe you do need to get the secret notes here to do something later on, so I go and grab them now. I mean, the puzzle is basically to put that purple torch in place. It's not very complicated, but those notes will give you a code combination for later on. We'll get to it eventually, but it will take a while for us to get there. This pack coming up has quite a few enemies in it, so I end up just using the missile necklace over and over again here. This is kind of cheesing, but I would say it is a lot easier than trying to just run up and fight them. Even if you just weaken a lot of the enemies, it makes stuff a lot easier for you in this game, because your AC isn't going to be amazing, unless you literally just chug like every potion and take off your armor and pre-buff with like improved invisibility, blur, mirror image, stone skin, which I will probably have to do at some points because there are some really difficult enemies. The last boss can be quite difficult as well, and I am going to do it the harder way. For those that have played the game, they'll know what that means. So we'll see how it goes when we get to it. This prologue is relatively short, or at least this first part is. The main fight here is up here against Korowaz. I end up just trying to use a wand of lightning, which is a pretty bad idea. It didn't really work for me, I would say.
Everything was going to be different.
I thought I might bounce around the room a little more, but didn't really do what I wanted, to be honest. So I just end up using the fire wand again. I am not going to have too many uses of the fire wand, but what I can do is resell the missile necklace back to the vendor, buy it again. I can do that pretty much infinitely. So I don't think fireball uses are going to be a problem really. Korowaz actually manages to be the most annoying enemy here, of course, because she's got stone skin and mirror image, and she keeps running away, so it does take me a while to actually kill her here. You don't have to kill her here, but spoilers, she's in the prison pretty much directly after that, and you can kill her there, because she does break free anyway. So she actually manages to pull all the way back into this other room, and the flaming fists actually managed to help me. I was hoping they would kind of like corner her so she couldn't move, but that doesn't really happen. Just to give you an overview of what I'm wearing, I'm of course still using the cloak and the helm of Baldur on. I'm using full plate mail unenchanted. I got the +2 protection ring. I'm actually using the fire protection ring as my other one because I don't have a better one. We will get some better rings later on in Siege of Dragonspear. I'm using the Varskana from Baldur's Gate 1 still. Early on you get that, and my offhand is the Undead longsword +1, which I think is a +3 longsword against Undead. So, not the best gear ever. If you want to make it easier for yourself, you probably should kill Drist in Baldur's Gate 1 because his scimitars are just broken. One of them gives you +2 AC bonus just from having it. So if you just put that in your offhand, you become harder to hit. And that's pretty much it from the first part of the prologue here. I spent some time talking to the healer and trying to buy some stuff from her. I think I buy some protection scrolls from acid and poison, which are going to be useful later on. But like I said, since your gold is wiped, you may as well buy some stuff here. She also has potions of clarity. I don't think I buy them, but those could be relatively useful as well. So you may as well take advantage of that.
And watches us all. I am here to serve. You have my greetings, faithful one.
I guess this is it. Thank you. It's over. I'm glad you're all. Let's never find out, all right?
Collage is defeated.
Hey, you awake? I don't know. Maybe I'm just... Wait, I'm gonna go check it out.
We now have a section that's going to take place in Baldur's Gate. Everything that you had with you is going to be in this chest here. But what we're pretty much going to do is do very little of the quest you can do at the beginning, because they give you pretty much nothing. Not much XP and probably not much gold or anything like that. We're going to pretty much get an amulet that I find is quite useful that you can get from a side quest. And we're going to get go to Sorcerer's Sunrise and get everything we need from there, including a lot of arrows of detonation. But those are the main things that we need, so we're just going to really do those two things, and then we're going to head off to the rest of the game.
I'll give you a moment to recover yourself and await you on the second floor. To arms. There are more assassins about. Is that all of them? The council will want to know you're all right.
You must
We should
gather
get
your party
downstairs.
before
Let's go.
venturing forth.
Let us begin.
What do I examined
The symbol of
the crew sound won't be enough.
Excellent.
There is one.
You need. I know the whereabouts.
Spoken. When you're
You're doing Baldur's Gate a great service. We'll not forget it.
I hope this is worth it.
I think for this side quest here, you need to go inside and talk to Rasad to begin with, and then a conversation will happen. The reason we're doing this is you get a amulet that gives you Bless permanently while you have it on, which is probably better passive bonus than anything else I have. So I figured I'd go and take this now. Bless, you know, it's a nice bonus that it gives you. We're also going to get a ring eventually that gives us permanent chant, so they can be worn together, and you will get the benefit from both. So after you talk to Rasad, you got to talk to these two people over here, and then this guy will drop the amulet that I'm talking about.
May I be of assistance? These refuge lawn. Your explanation does not ring true to me. If you could tell us more about what happened.
You have my greetings.
It's all I have, I swear.
We aren't far from the Elfsong Tavern.
Hope this is
A
worth
few
it.
people you might want to speak with. Safana, Koran, and the Bard Garrett. All right, get what you need. I'll cover the door.
Over here, we need to do a little bit of a quest. To begin with, we need to go upstairs. We'll get attacked by 4 people. You're not going to be surprised how we deal with a group of enemies. We're going to use fire on it again. So it might not be the most interesting here, but I'm just I'm dropping some stuff on the floor because there is some potions that you can pick up here.
I'll see to it.
But yeah, there's a mage, there's a spider. I don't know if the spider can maybe cast web on you or something like that, so kind of a priority target, I would say. But yeah, we just use fire on it, like all good things. This one was that use was probably a bit unnecessary because unfortunately this guy has mirror image once again. I miss having the Staff of the Magi. It's just, you just hit them once and they get dispelled. But there is some potions here that you can pick up for free. You may as well pick them up. I think if you try and come back here after, these are locked because you give over the key. So, yeah, best to do this first probably.
One at a time, one at a time. Don't crowd the counter. One at a time, one at a time. Don't crowd the counter.
You're going to see that I pretty much are going to sell all my gems here, which is why I kept some of them. The Rogue Stone and the Laurel's Tear Necklace give you a lot of gold, so I have about 15,000 right now. So I think it's about 5,000 from the Bag of Holding, so I pretty much just want to get the Arrows of Detonation. I don't think there's anything else I really want here. This guy sells some other stuff, but nothing I'm really interested in. There's some monk things there, I believe, and bard things to buy, but obviously we're not interested in those. So I think you can get another 25 Arrows of Detonation, which I will gladly take. I don't know if I pick up the strength potions. Looks like I picked up one. So you can spend a lot of your gold on consumables for this, and it will make your life a lot easier. So I'll probably end up doing that later on. But there are a few items I want to buy in Siege of Dragonspear, but so many magic items drop that you can sell that it's not really a problem.
It's done. It's done.
The last thing we want to do is go and pick up the spectacles from Zaviak. This will get you some encounters later on. There's one in particular that gives you a merchant that you can buy some interesting stuff off of. So I figured I may as well take this, because I think there is some useful stuff that you can get from that.
I love this city as much as the next girl. Probably more, really. But the Flaming Fist is trying to keep the peace, but it's an uphill battle.
I hope this is worth it.
All right. I'll see you on the morrow. Word is your friend Imoen's mostly recovered from the Crusader poison, if you want to speak with her.
I'll see to it.
Just remember, once you go up to your room, I'll leave to begin preparing.
So this, if it is strange, interest, you do, but we can speak. So I am not only the passage of time.
We need to, I'm here. My needs. Well, so promise I'm gonna leave now. Take care of yourself. Hey, 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 hey! Are you awake? You can't tell Daddy. I've joined the phone. Life as a noble is boring. Remember, whatever you do, don't tell Daddy about this.
I hope this is worth it. It's done. I'll see to it.
I have many fine ways.
So here's where we pick up the Bag of Holding. This guy does follow you to the next area, but I may as well get it right now. I've noticed that Charisma dropped the price quite a lot of this, about to 5,600, so it's definitely worth using that. But Bag of Holding is so useful to have, just because like there's so many items in Baldur's Gate 2. It feels terrible leaving stuff behind. So thankfully you can get a Bag of Holding really quickly, and I would suggest that you would do that. If you're soloing, of course.
This is my daughter Roma. They'll do what they have exactly.
And with that, I'm going to let the video play out, and I'll catch you guys next
Go
time.
to your grandfather. Mama, there you are. The caravan's at the palace gate. We're ready to head to Dragonspear if you are.
Captain Shale Corwin.
And what of your goals?